p.m. on Monday, April 1st, 2024. I'd like to call to order the Lancaster Select Board's regular meeting. Start first by pointing out that this meeting is being recorded and broadcast through our great friends at Sterling-Lancaster Community Television. And start with a roll call. Mr. Allison.
Here.
Ms. Turner.
Here.
Mr. Kerrigan is here. The board is all here. First item on the agenda is review and take action on the Select Board minutes for meetings of March 18th and March 25th. Is there a motion?
I'll offer a motion to approve the minutes of March 18th, 2024 and March 25th, 2024.
Is there a second?
Did you say 24?
24, yep.
It's 25, isn't it?
Nope, 25, 24. March 25, 2024.
3, 25, 24.
I will second the correct motion.
Okay, great. Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. Okay. Next is, we have no public hearings or scheduled appearances. Next is public comment. A reminder, public comment is an opportunity for Lancaster residents to speak at the meeting. We will go first to folks in the room. If you wish to speak, go to the podium. Again, the SJC tells us we can't tell you what to say or how to say it, but it does say that we can say whether or not you have time to do it. So we are giving, as per our policies, we're giving everybody time to speak, but you get 2 minutes. I will raise my hand to indicate when you're at the 1 minute mark, and then your time will be up. Please begin by stating your name and address. Anyone in the room? Nobody in the room. Anybody online, put your hand up as Kara Sanford did, and then you'll be recognized next. Are you unmuted?
Thank you very much.
Yep.
So Kara Sanford, 350 Bullhill Road here in Lancaster. This is about a few of the proposed butter lot sales parcels in the town warrant. I'm offering some context. Some of these parcels connect to other open space parcels that have been a multi-year target to protect, and all of them are near-ish, or like literally near, the town forest, where this current forest legacy effort is. The 3 Rockwoman parcels, which on your graph are numbers 11, 12, and 13, they connect to the town forest, and transferring them to private ownership is less public access and trails. 2 of the parcels are endangered species regulatory habitat, and the Wiki-Piki flows through them. Parcel number 16 on Hilltop Road, that 4.8 acre parcel, it looks like it's a rear parcel, and it is, but the history there, from my recollection, is that the 2 other adjoining town-owned parcels were voted at a town meeting several years ago, soon after Pete Christoph Sr. died, and Tim Kastner was very active in that, to keep that as conservation land to the point of dedicating it. Sterling National could develop that land, and it would be right behind the Eagle Ridge houses. Lastly, the Lunenburg Road rear parcels, I could not tell where they were. I don't think they're in the area of the proposed development, but I would ask you to consider not having that impact be any larger than it is. Thank you very much for the opportunity to comment.
Thank you. I don't see any other hands up. No one is at the podium, so we will call public comment to a close. Thank you all. Next, Administration, Budget, and Policy. The Board of Health and the Department of Health and Human Services requests for approval for a blood drive. Kate?
Chairman of the Board of Health, Jeff Pastor, is on the call.
Oh, hey Jeff, the floor is yours.
Thank you. I appreciate the opportunity to address the board. Thank you very much. So on behalf of both the Board of Health and Department of Health and Human Services, we'd like to get approval from Select Board to host a blood drive by the Red Cross on Tuesday, May 21st from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. This is a change from what we had planned originally, which was going to be to have the blood drive as part of the Health and Wellness Fair on April 19th. Due to scheduling issues with the van, the day needs to be changed. We anticipate the van being located in front of the Town Hall Library area. And it's, I think, a very exciting opportunity for service to the town and the community. I just want to also note that this was an idea that was presented to us by a very enterprising honor student at Lancaster, South Lancaster Academy. So she should get some of that credit, or most of the credit.
Fantastic. Well, I am a huge fan of blood drives, particularly since they've rid themselves of some discriminatory policies. But no, I think it's fantastic, and would love to get a pint drawn myself. So, do my colleagues have any questions for Jeff? Any comments? Otherwise, I would entertain a motion to approve.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right. Any discussion? All right.
Thank you for doing
all those
that.
in favor?
Oh,
Aye.
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 Thank you.
Congratulations. We'll see you on the 21st, if not before. Well, we'll probably see you at town meeting and then at town election day, but then the 21st. Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate it.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you
Have
very
a
much.
good night.
You too. Be well. And can we put that on the town calendar? Awesome. Great. Review of classification study results. Okay.
So I handed out a updated version that had a couple of corrections in it. I am going to attempt to share my screen.
This is the revised one you just left us tonight, right?
Yes, that says 4-1 at the top there.
Okay.
Sorry.
It's quite all right.
That's nice.
I don't know if that's legal. Can you put road signs up on it?
Oh.
Can you put what?
Yeah, no, you can't, Kendra, you can't have campaign signs up. It's as if you brought it into the meeting.
She had the B a few minutes ago.
No.
Back to the B.
Kendra? Text her.
Text her, you got it?
Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
We can't see her here.
Okay. So what you have on page 1 is the breakdown of what the Collins Center had done. Initially, they came in just to go over the process. This process was derived at through a grant that we received from a community compact best practices. It was for $34,000. The Collins Center is one of the preferred vendors for the Commonwealth, as it is, in fact, the Commonwealth.
Commonwealth Center, yeah.
Through UMass Boston. And they came in and had a robust round of conversations with any town staff member who wanted to. All town department heads, all senior managers, and then talked in groups to members of the DPW, clerical, police, fire, and library. And then when they had follow-up questions, they conversed with department heads or those staff members, and were able to get somewhere in the neighborhood of 50 baseline positions. So for a baseline position, that would mean that it essentially our position, even if the title isn't exactly the same, exists in some shape or form in a neighboring community or in a comparable community. The only ones that didn't were 2 library positions, which probably if we went job description by job description, but the library, similar to recreation, kind of creates job titles that are unique to the character of the library and the things that they're doing. So those were sort of placed in after the fact. There are a couple of other positions that we don't currently have that are on this particular schedule. As you can see, director, DPW director, the director of public works. We put that in there just in conversation because I think that, as the town looks to expand offerings, or the DPW Commission is looking to perhaps do in-house engineering. There might be a need to have, you know, a director and then a superintendent, which would effectively be the functional oversight for the crews, and then an assistant town administrator, which a lot of communities our size certainly have. We do not have that right now. The finance director, town accountant was another one that's interesting. Half the communities have them as a combined, the other half don't. So we happen to have that, so we had less data on that than the others. There were a total of 21 total communities, and they were all the bordering communities, and then what they called workforce origination areas, so where our employees live and where they're commuting from, and then workforce departure areas where the bulk of our employees are leaving to go to. Within reason. If they're leaving to go out of state, if they're leaving to work near Boston or in the Cape, then those really wouldn't be areas that we're looking at. So in terms of where we are with recommendations, we had 3 separate categories. One of the things that when I was interviewed I was very clear on is my desire to have union employees and bylaw employees treated the same as best we can. To not have different terms of employment for people if they are or are not in a union, not to have different rates of paying people whether they are or are not in a union. I think that that helps you know, break down silos, and it certainly leads to a happier, more well-rounded workforce. And so the first columns that you'll see here, A through I, are town staff, which what we're calling regular status. Full-time, they work 52.2 weeks a year. Some are working 30 hours, some are working 40 as people leave either through retirement or to move on. We're filling those positions, generally speaking, with 38 to 40-hour positions because we're paying for benefits anyway. That's been something we've done over the past couple of years. This also includes DPW staff and their collective bargaining, and the library and clerical unit, which is also one unit. The fire positions are separate. As you know, fire was covered under a collective bargaining agreement, and they removed themselves from that union, so they are bylaw employees, but by the nature of their position for a variety of reasons, which are obvious, is very different than the office positions. And while DPW positions have some level of danger, the round-the-clock 24/7, although DPW has it for inclement weather all of the time, plus the specialty training that is needed for that, really gave them, you know, gave us the need to have a different scale for them. Police, similar situation, and of course, that is, the police union right now is covered by MassCop, so that is a collective bargaining unit. So we went over 3 different ways to do the scale, so this is non-public safety. What you'll see in the warrant is a sample of a 2.5%, so that would mean from one step to another is a 2.5% increase. There also was a proposal for 2%, which is 15 steps, or 3%, which is 10. 2.5 was only because I split the difference and did it right in the middle. Again, every year, town meeting has to vote on a class and comp scale. So if there's a year where we do this year 2.5 and we don't believe that 2.5 is sustainable, we can always propose and adopt something that's different. So this is what is in under that article in the warrant. These are the fire pay scales that are here. Same thing, I did it across the board. It is a 2.5, also with police. The last 2 sheets that I put in are the minimum and maximum, where you can see that we took Lancaster's hourly rate, we took the survey minimum, then we took the survey median minimum, and then we compared it to Lancaster's. In many cases, we were above. In an equal amount, if not more, we were below. And so that's what we're looking at. We knew that. What was interesting is most of the new hires are coming in at a place where they are on the scale but in a lower step. So the nice thing is, and I'll use DPW for an example because they've had a lot of hires recently, they're hiring laborers at step 8, which is the top of their step. That step 8 is really step 2. And so the nice thing is that those people will have earning potential versus being brought in at a rate that never affords them a raise except for a cost of living increase. And so I think that speaks to our goal of attracting and retaining quality staff. Similar to that, we did the maximum ranges, which are at the last page, which is page 8. And I know it's a lot of data to go over. I gave it to you in your packet. The only thing that's different is that the maximum in the non-emergency services A it should have been $63, not $60, so that's the change. And then the corresponding table for the 2.5 has changed to reflect that. Bless you.
Thank you.
I know that was very quick, but...
Yeah. These numbers are reflected in the budget.
Correct.
There we go. All right, do any of my colleagues have questions for Kate on this very well thought out report from the Collins Center? Yes.
I just want to say thank you. This is very thorough and obviously transparent. Thank you.
Okay. Do you have any questions or comments?
Yeah, thank you for doing this. I know that we've been looking forward to doing one of these for a long time, and yes, the calling center is certainly a standard. So, again, I'm just browsing this because we just picked at it, so pardon my ignorance, but hopefully you can enlighten me. When the health, I see a lot of references to the library positions because they had to be graded. For example, library director. And I know when we created Health and Human Services, it encompassed Board of Health and other things that we had to do. As I recall, because the library is run by the Board of Trustees and traditional, it was independent. But is this something that they graded because it's typical in other communities, or is this for us, or
this is how they're classified in our budget? The Health and Human Services has all civic and cultural. Finance has all regulatory things that administration has. My office and town clerk. So that's why you'll see under like town clerk, for example, it says town administration / town clerk.
Well, that I would expect. But so the library director, which is under Health and Human Services, still reports to the Board of Trustees,
yes.
And has mentioned that, so, okay. And I haven't looked at the meat and potatoes of this. You're right that the fire department certainly has lots of strains and some certain risks. I noticed that the fire department pay scales, and this is just an industry standard for firefighter 1, for example, are more than for an entry-level police. Is that just the way the industry standard is? Is that just typical?
That is what came up in their data for our comps.
Okay. And of course, the same with DPW.
There's also a
All
difference
dangerous,
in
20%.
police officer 1 versus police officer 2. So police officer 1 theoretically would be someone, we don't have that right now, but somebody who you're paying to put through the academy. So
Yeah, I don't know the nomenclature, the grades.
once they become a certified police officer and graduate post, they would no longer be a police officer 1. So I know just in another life, when we were going through that, if a department is paying to send a person through the academy, you still are paying them their salary plus for the academy. And so to do that at a rate that's $30, $35 an hour would be pretty cost prohibitive. So the idea is to have them in at a sort of...
So police officer 1 and firefighter 1 aren't on the same level?
They're not on the same level. Firefighter 1 is somebody who has
actually
the
a firefighter.
firefighter 1 certificate.
Yeah.
So they've already been through the academy.
Correct.
Yeah, that's
So firefighter 2 would
that's
be
helpful.
firefighter and EMT.
Got it.
Okay.
So
Anything
technically
else?
2 certifications. Or
Yeah.
3, it's firefighter 1, 2 plus EMT.
Yeah.
1, 2 plus empty.
So, so I'm sure I'll have other questions, and I know my chairman would like to move on, but with your permission, if I do have other questions, I'll do them during the course of the week or at our next meeting, because they'll come up.
Yes, but this will be on the warrant. So you can ask them at the town meeting too, as a citizen.
I understand, but I think that it's always helpful to inform myself and others
Yes, if you
prior
have questions,
to town meeting.
You can
So-
ask Kate through the chair, and we're glad to get you any answers.
Yeah, or at the next meeting, I hope. I would expect.
So you're asking for us to put this back on the agenda at the next meeting, or do you just have questions?
I don't know if I have questions. If you'd
I'd
like
rather
to
you
put-
ask questions before the next meeting so that we can get you the
Okay.
answers.
And that will be my goal.
Great.
But should we not, yes, you can put it back on the agenda if
So
you like.
so are you asking to put it on the agenda?
Sure,
What I'm
sure.
not doing
Yes.
is divining whether or not you got the answers you needed.
Okay, I can't tell you that right now because I don't even know what they'll be. So yes, please put it back on the agenda and hopefully I'll have them all and we'll just table it.
Well, we wouldn't table it, we would then just not address it because it would be done.
Okay.
Sorry, just so we're not being duplicative, are you going to bring your questions to the next meeting, or are you going to take up Kate's time between now and the next meeting?
I'm going to make every endeavor to answer them prior to the next meeting. But since I do not know what they are or
How
what
about
they're
this,
going
why
to
don't you just
involve.
let me know if you've had them answered, and then we'll put them on the agenda if you have not. Okay. Review of town meeting warrant draft.
Okay. Would you like me to share
Sure.
my screen?
Yes, please.
It seems that you can do.
I have all the faith in the world.
Sorry, it's pretty slow today.
Just to be clear to the public, the citizen who had the campaign sign up was doing so in error and logged back on without the sign. They send their apologies. So the purpose of this section of the agenda is to go through the articles that are proposed for the town meeting warrant, and the select board to vote either recommending positive action, negative action, or no action. Yes?
Or to make an amendment?
Or to make
I
an
don't know.
Sure.
Yeah,
But those should be we can only amend things that we've sponsored.
of course.
We cannot just amend random stuff.
Okay. Apologies, I don't know what's
quite all right.
happening there.
Here it is. All right, Article 1 is our operating budget,
Which we've talked about
ad nauseum.
rather lately, but
Yes.
this represents the latest numbers in the budget.
Great. Is there a motion to recommend positive, negative, or no
We
action?
recommend positive action
Yeah. Isn't that-
on Article 1.
Second.
Okay, any discussion?
So the 28,059,000 is our total budget, as we've said, we've talked about it as nauseum. Kate, the Neshoba School District number that people see there, it's the 16,801, is the existing debt from the previous, just to be clear. It has nothing, because I know when people asked and looked at their tax bills, it has nothing to do with the upcoming.
It has that in as well. Oh, I'm sorry, Jason. It's all told.
Yeah.
But I again want to be very clear, the actions this board's being asked to take tonight is whether or not we recommend positive action, negative action, or no action on this article, not to necessarily re-debate the sum and substance of the article.
No, I don't think we're redebating.
Right. So, do you have any questions or comments about whether or not to be positive or negative or neutral? None? None. All those in favor of recommending positive action to the town meeting by the select board, signify so by saying aye.
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 Aye. Okay, Article 1 will have a recommendation from the select board for positive action.
And I guess if there is confusion, as I've heard some about in the past, people can talk to Kate or myself or somebody.
I'm confused by the statement you just said.
It's in the book.
Yes.
So we
Yeah,
broke
I-
it out this year so you could see old debt, new debt, and operating.
I was more trying to just dispel confusion, but,
Maybe
okay.
if I can
We
give
got plenty of meetings between now and the annual town meeting to dispel rumors, but the purpose of this conversation, and we're also going to have a public forum where
47.
people will be able to go
Thank
through the sum and substance of the articles and understand them, and ask questions at that time. The purpose of this meeting, again, is to determine positive, negative, or no action recommended. Article 2 is to see if the town will vote to transfer $1,296,500 from free cash to the capital stabilization fund. Is there a motion in any regard relative to this article?
I move to have the select board endorse Article 2 in a positive manner.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, any discussion?
I intend on supporting this, Mr. Chairman.
Good.
May I ask what the current balance is and prior to this, the current stabilization? I know it's in there, 1.9 roughly.
Oh, I
Don't
don't want
worry.
to say the wrong thing, so hold on a second. I can get it.
Okay, while she's getting that, will that affect your vote?
No, we can vote that.
Okay. All those in favor of the motion, signify by
Aye.
saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, okay. Great. She will get you that answer
Thank you.
while we're scrolling down to Article 3 in our hymnal.
Currently, it's about 2.25 million.
Okay, thank you.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, for item 3, Mr. Chair, I move to accept the warrant for the 2024 annual town meeting as written as amended and to instruct the town.
Wait, no.
No, Article 3
We're
is
doing
the
Article 3,
renewable-
we're doing
renewable
the-
energy.
3?
We're doing the select board.
renewable-
Oh,
Yeah. We're doing the,
3 and 3.
at any rate, this is to
Renewable
vote,
energy,
this
correct?
is to vote to appropriate X amount of dollars, which, when are we getting that sum?
We actually have it.
Ah,
It's
fantastic.
$176,600.
From the Renewable Energy Enterprise Fund to finance the operation of the landfill solar array.
And so on the next page where it says sale of solar energy credits, it would be 176,600. The maintenance expenses would be 75,500. And then the principal and interest, the total is 101,100, which is 75,000 for principal and 26,100 in interest. And that's on version 9, which is the version we're working from now.
Okay,
Adjust the screen, please.
Just the
just,
screen.
I think, scrolling to the article we're talking about.
Sorry.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank
Trustee.
you.
Yep, there we are.
All right, move for the select board to endorse Article 3 in a positive manner.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. All right, next is a Board of Public Works article. Now, some years we give the townspeople suggestions how we believe on these articles, some we don't. I yield to the will of the board. I think it's all good and proper that we give recommendations on all articles on the warrant, but I would yield to the board if we chose not to make a recommendation. That I would guess would be recommending
I
either.
move to select board to recommend in a positive manner Article 4.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Adjust the screen, please.
Can you scroll?
Yes.
It's hard to adjust
We're
the
gonna get to
screen,
that
let people
finally.
in and do everything else. I'll second that,
Okay, great. Is there any discussion?
yes.
This is, by the way, folks, the water enterprise to appropriate $1.23 million from the Water Enterprise Fund to finance the operation of the water department. It's an annual transfer of funds that we do each year in the annual town meeting. The number changes, but the purpose doesn't. Yes, Ms. Turner.
So the reason we had put this on historically is so we had a better understanding of the water enterprise budget, which is, as you aptly described, is its own separate budget under the control of the DPW, but
Indeed.
the people as well. I don't have any, I, again, will need to discuss and sit and discuss because I don't have enough breakdown on this to know if this is something I'd recommend or not. I would recommend it going on the warrant.
Well, it's already on the warrant.
I know that. I
we're now
understand that. Whether we recommend it,
It's whether this board says to the voters, whether
Okay.
we recommend positive action.
okay. I need to, so I will abstain on this one. Okay.
Okay? All right, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any
Aye.
opposed? Any abstentions?
Abstention.
Okay, so there will, let the record reflect, it will indicate a select board recommendation in favor of passage. Article 5, can you scroll?
Thank you.
Screen up. I think my friend Mr. Trussell will be happy with me. All right, this is the revolving funds. Kate, give us a quick synopsis and then we'll entertain a motion.
Yep, so these revolving funds are under Chapter 4453E1/2. They require an appropriation at annual town meeting. It's not an exact science here, so we always budget and appropriate more than what we think we would get. The only large change this year is the Recreation Committee. Through the efforts of the community center staff, they're bringing in a lot more revenue than they ever did. And so thus far this year, they're somewhere in the neighborhood of 80,000. So we were figuring by the time that we get to the fiscal year end would probably be closer to 90, and so we're using that number moving forward.
Fantastic. All right, is there a motion?
I move to the select board to positively endorse Article 5.
What's fantastic is if you listen to all of your motions, they're worded entirely differently.
I know, I need to write it down.
Fantastic.
I wish somebody had written me.
It's amazing. Is there a second?
I will second.
Well, they all have the same intent, which is great. All right, any discussion?
The recycling center?
That's the amount that's still left in there, so.
All right. Any further discussion? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
I have one other discussion, sorry. Publications, I understand
We're
money.
in we're in the middle of the vote, so, I mean, you
If
can
we're
ask.
I'm in the middle of discussion, can I ask?
You weren't, I
a
asked any discussion, you were quiet, but go ahead.
question? Me, quiet? Never.
You're on borrowed time right now, so.
Okay, publications, I understand why we need $2,500. Does money come in from where is the in?
So it comes in just to the general fund, and we use that from the general fund.
Okay.
Great. We're in the middle of the vote still, so aye. Okay, fantastic. All right, Article 6, compensation plans.
Well, we just went over this, and
Indeed.
so where it says placeholder for grid were the 3 grids that I just
Perfect.
showed you all.
All right, is there a motion?
Scrolling down.
I move
Scroll, yes.
I move to recommend the select board vote for affirmative action on article number
6.
Yeah,
Six.
6 then.
6. Okay, is there a second?
I'll second that.
Okay, awesome. Is there any discussion?
As
Other
you
than what we
know-
already
as-
had. I mean, I know,
as
did
you
you come
know-
up with more questions in the last few
No,
minutes?
no. As you
Not
know,
your
I
time.
am going to abstain until next time, but I'm sure it'll be a positive affirmation, until I talk to
will.
Kate.
All right.
What's the abstaining for? Sorry, I couldn't hear what you were saying.
She
Because
has
we
more
just got the
questions.
plan and I had questions that I haven't been answered yet, so I'm going to just wait till I'm informed.
Okay.
Well, I did get the plan. I
I
didn't just give it to you.
Right. You just got the updated numbers. You
Yeah,
got the
just
plan,
in
you
this
had
questions,
plenty-
that's fine.
and plenty of time.
The A
But
is
that's
the only thing
Well-
that changed, just.
Yeah, to be very clear, the A out of A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, and I, and the A is.
The breakdown is very,
Is 3,
this
is,
breakdown is very good.
hold on, the A is 3 jobs out of about 25%.
Right, and
But anyway,
and we got this, we got the packet the other day, so this is what I
And all
am.
that
So let's just,
yeah, that's
so
fine.
rather than trying to belittle me for being
I'm not
informed-
belittling you, I'm
Well,
not.
it does seem like that.
No, I was really to let you abstain, I don't, it's,
You gonna let me abstain?
you can do whatever you want. You can do whatever you want.
So anyway, that's what I'm going to do.
Fantastic, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Abstain, you just abstain, you're gonna abstain.
Abstain, I'm
I just
sorry.
got you to vote aye. No, counters an abstention.
All right.
All right, Article 7, please, scroll.
It's 201, just to be clear.
Yes, it was,
okay,
201.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Please scroll to Article 7.
Bills of prior year.
To see if the town will vote to transfer $3,029.04 from free cash to pay bills from prior year. This also is something that happens, well, every annual town meeting. To do what? To pay bills from a prior year.
Unfortunately, it's the same company, but different amounts,
If it's the
same
same
bill.
bills, then we're in deep trouble. But, yeah.
But Kathy has been able to speak to the companies, and she will be getting the bills directly. I think what was
fantastic.
happening is they were circulating around various town facilities without a home. And so
Understood.
Kathy has now said that we're the home.
Understood. Okay. Any other questions about this before we entertain a motion? Yes.
I gotta ask, how can we have 2 different propane companies for the police and fire department?
Well, one's superior.
I don't know the answer. Do you know the,
I don't,
So,
Yeah, that feels, excuse me, so that feels like something that we can fix, I think. I don't know the details, but that just seems kind of weird.
so we're all supposed to have these state bid, but at one point they were really high. You were paying. There's also one just for historic, so there's also a different propane for the community center.
right. Okay, so, good question, get the answer, good flag.
I don't need an answer, I just need it fixed.
Right. Well, we can address, well, you asked a question which requires an
One of
answer.
those rhetorical kind of questions.
You gotta really put a flag up on that one.
I'm
since
assuming
you gotta-
it was bid at 2 separate times is
Yeah.
the only thing that I can think of.
But he doesn't need an answer apparently.
Oh,
I would like an answer.
well, when
How's
it's
that?
bid, we would bid it
No, he doesn't need an
holistically.
answer apparently, he would just.
Well, that would be
Holistically.
the fix.
Okay, great. Is there a motion?
I move to recommend the select board vote for affirmative action on article number 7.
Second.
Keeping the streak going. All those in favor, signify, any discussion? Beyond what we've already had. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Please scroll to Article 8.
So Article 8 and 9 are from the Community Preservation Committee, who had a public meeting, voted on both of these articles, and delivered them to us, which we cut and pasted verbatim.
Fantastic. We thank them for their hard work, yes.
Yeah, so a couple things. So first, Kate, if I understand the numbers right, this is a match, right? So the town is, 2%, 2.5%, and the state matches that, is that correct?
Not entire, yeah, not dollar for dollar.
So what is it, a 50-cent match?
I think it was like 43 cents or something on the dollar. I don't know what it is this year. We can look it up.
So basically, if that's the case, then a third of this is state money, right? So maybe like 40 grand of the 137?
Yeah, the revenue is 177.5.
Yeah, the town voted this in, the residents voted this in. I'm still a big proponent of CPA. I want everyone to see, it's like your 401k, right? We're getting free money on this. I realize it's another tax, but there's really gonna be an opportunity for us to invest in the future of Lancaster with this. And with that, I'd like to thank the entire CPA committee, all of them. Keep up the great work. This is necessary, and I'm grateful. Thank you.
And they have invested in some fantastic projects in areas and in ways that other dollars weren't available, so we're grateful. All right, is there a motion?
I move to recommend the select board vote for affirmative action on article number 8.
Is there a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. 300. Article 9, please scroll to Article 9.
Now, question, Steve.
Yes?
Do you want to recommend these in block or
Yes.
by item?
The article. Well, the article gets voted in block.
Oh, well, that didn't make it any easier, did it? Well, it's hard for me to, all right, let's see.
It should just be a zoom in.
I know, but then you can't see the whole thing, see? Because
Oh.
it's on 2 pages, so let's try it that way. Really small.
Article 9 is visible, that's the beginning of it's down there.
I think the meat of it's the projects that Mr. Trussell probably wants.
All right. Is there a motion?
So
or
I
any
would offer a
discussion?
motion to,
Go ahead.
I would make a motion to endorse Article 9, the community preservation recommendations.
Fantastic. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, any discussion?
Just so people know, and we'll go over it, the town beach shelter, historic preservation for the Thayer Memorial Library, and we've
Land
talked about it at previous meeting, $35,000 for grant matching
Yep.
for land
Bless you.
preservation.
Yes, sir. Okay. All those in, there's a motion and a second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Okay. 300. Article 10. Please scroll to Article 10, which is investing the treasurer's request to allow the town.
Yeah, so we'll be changing the title of this because
Okay, good.
it's called Adoption of the Prudent Investment Rule.
Okay, good.
Although
That
I
was
do
not
like,
catchy.
I do like the placeholder that
Yeah.
was
So it's
Kathy's
adopting
way
the
of
prudent
telling me to
investment.
get it together. So the FY24 state budget changes the standards for investment for trust funds for municipalities. It allows a greater rate of return, and so we'd like to adopt this Mass General law to ensure that we're getting the greatest rate of return.
That sounds
And you
fantastic.
discussed this with us before as a
Yes, you did.
suggestion, so I would offer a motion to approve or endorse Article 10, the prudent investment rule.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right, any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. 300. Article 11, acquisition of North Lancaster land.
So this also we've talked about before. So the lots that were at one point going to be given in different stages of development are now all belong to the town. And so what now needs to happen is that town meeting needs to ratify that acquisition, and then we can, we have a temporary right now, but we can file with the Registry of Deeds and become the owner.
Awesome, thank you. Is there a motion? Oh, sorry, any discussion? Well, we can discuss during motion or before. Sorry.
Yeah.
She said a word.
I was just gonna say real quick, like after endorsing this, I'm gonna keep reloading my email to see all the thank yous that are gonna come in. I'm really looking forward to seeing all of them, because I got all of the emails that were like, hey, you need to go get the land, and lo and behold, you and Kate went and got the land, so I'm really looking forward to those thank yous.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't, as the phrase says, hold your breath. But yes.
So
Yes.
thank you. This is exciting.
Okay.
There's the email.
There's
Yeah, there's the email. Is this the?
Dear Steve.
Is this the 86, all 86?
Yes, yes,
That's
yes.
very exciting, and a lot of people will be happy.
Yes.
We'll fill the town meeting.
Here's hoping. All right, is there a motion?
Yeah, I move to recommend the select board vote for affirmative action on article number 11, acquisition of North Lancaster land.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay.
Is
Any
his own
further
gavel
discussion?
today?
I know.
I was
Please,
saying,
over here.
so-
All right,
Don't
all
let him
those
have
in-
it.
How long have I been waiting for this?
All
I got some
a
discussion.
long
I got some
time.
discussion. This is like being very anticlimactic here.
Okay, you have some
Remember the
discussion?
times I've been yelled at about this land?
No, I know.
Do you?
Yeah, but you can't get the emails until after we vote, so
Okay.
we gotta, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, so all those in favor?
I
Aye. Okay, that's great, 300. Now we'll get lots of, and also apparently F5 is how you refresh your email, I never knew that, so thank you. Okay, Article 12, please scroll to Article 12.
Okay, so Article 12, so as I had said to the board prior, so these are the lots that meet the criteria that was set forth in the abutter lot sales program parameters that were adopted, I believe, in February by the board in conjunction with the Board of Assessors. So you don't need to put all of these on there, but short of having a meeting to go over every single one, this seemed to be a good time to figure out which you would like to bring forward under Article 12, if any.
Right, and we can strike a town meeting floor too, right?
Correct.
So, prior to starting this meeting, I had a couple questions for Kate, because I looked over this draft that we recently got. And so, I think the program is great, and I know citizens and budding neighbors are looking forward to those, especially up on Spec Pond Ave, so where this idea was formed, I believe. My just quick and dirty understanding was that they were going to be very small parcels, so I was surprised to see parcels of 15 acres and less. So I had...
Where's 15 acres? Oh, right there, Lumber Road.
Lunenburg Road, and there's some that are 4 and so on, which would, and I understand that one of the caveats is that these were not going to be built on.
Right.
So that is,
Would you like to know the ones that I was going to ask you to strike?
yeah, I was going to, well, I guess first, how did you come up with a list, and then,
Yeah, so the assessors just ran the criteria from the list about what fit into non-buildable lots that were under a certain amount of square footage, so it didn't do it just, and then we backed out all of the ones that are property of conservation. Not that they're under the care, but actual, like the deed says conservation, or that, there's some other municipal use that's already currently happening.
Got it.
So like the water department, for example, had a couple.
So
Yeah.
which one would you?
So we were going to get rid of number 2,
No,
number 3.
no. Which number 2 is White Pond Road, number 3 is Lunenburg Road,
Yes,
rear.
all of the Brockelman Road parcels.
Okay, well, Gary Sanford will be happy.
Lunenburg Road, number 14.
Okay, that's 15 acres.
Old County, 15.
Okay,
16 Langdon, even though it's .03 because it's adjacent, as alluded to earlier. 17 Hilltop,
got it.
and Magnolia Ave, because it's near a water department thing, and Magnolia Ave in the rear, the 2 acres there. And then the Sterling-Clinton line.
That tiny little point.
That tiny little point, because no one,
Okay.
Is that the one that Sterling has their sign on right now?
We should
don't want to take it from them.
charge them rent. All right, is there a motion to amend this list by accepting those recommendations? That makes sense.
So moved.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Yes.
So I don't understand why we'd be removing them. Why are we striking them?
Because they're either large and we have some need to keep them either as open green space, or eventually they could become a park, or in the one that has a sign in it, maybe we could put our own sign.
Right. There might be a town purpose for some, yeah.
We could just put a big,
I
let's
can
just
speak-
cross over out.
I can
right
speak
line
to the
this.
town forest properties. We never had the money to buy them. I mean, and we intended to buy them. So,
We own them.
We, the town,
The town owns it.
then, no. And there, wait, so there's ones that the town owns that were never converted over to conservation?
Right.
Correct.
so that could be a further step.
That happens a lot.
Yeah, that could be a further step, but this, just running the parameters spit out this list. The next intended step was exactly what we're doing, which is pulling off things that we might need for municipal use, conservation use,
Okay.
or have another purpose for, which is why that recommendation.
And the reason that Brockelman Road may not have been preserved to become part of the town forest prior to this is there is value to a conservation restriction, so oftentimes in matching grants, such as the Forest Legacy Grant, you reserve that and you only conserve it when you have matching funds.
All right, so, also a very quick point, by removing them from the list, if we do that, they don't automatically become part of the town forest.
No, they
Yeah,
don't. They stay in situ
Right.
with the,
Got it. So you had a motion, is there a second?
I'll second, I would like to discuss.
Well, and that's what happens.
Second.
There's a motion and a
so
second.
the motion
Now this
is
is
to
discussion.
approve as amended, but
To approve as amended.
So my gut is saying that we as a select board should not deny the voters the right to bring these on the tax roll, right? Give voters a chance to debate all of them at public meeting, and have that conversation, because if we strike them, then basically we're not even allowing them to vote on unless the citizen petition came forward or something like that. So that's my instinct, but I'm kind of talking out loud.
So I would say this has always been a part of the process that we've discussed with the voters when the program was approved, that we would then go back and look, and as the executives of the community make the determination with the department heads what are necessary for potential town use, conservation, etc. So I would say this is consistent with what we've told the townspeople we would do. And so I am very comfortable making this.
And if we vote on this and strike them, they can come back at a future town meeting.
Of course.
Is that right?
I mean, unless you do something else.
Unless we
with
said
them.
something else with the land, yeah.
I'm good, thank you.
Okay, do you have any discussion?
no, except I personally need to review the criteria because I thought they were supposed to be smaller parcels, and I'm pleased the amendment takes out the larger parcels, the 15 acres and less, but the other ones all seem,
All the ones that remain are, I think, under an acre.
pretty much,
Yeah.
this one, yeah, a couple. All right, and the Langen Road number 18 is not in proximity to the other Langen Road that was a concern?
That was struck.
That was struck.
Number 18?
Yep,
Yeah.
16 through
Oh.
18.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay,
And then 20 through 22. So the only one that remains is Hardy Street.
in that swath.
In that, yeah, right. Exactly.
Okay, all right, any further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion as amended to recommend positive action on this article as amended, signify by saying aye.
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 300. Article 13, please scroll to Article 13. It is to see if the town, so there are two of these. Is this the one that we should be considering?
Correct. The one that says Ivrea, is this one even necessary, is not.
So we will strike Article 13. That other.
Well, there's two 13s, because I was trying to figure out which one we.
Got it,
So
okay.
pick the first 13.
Pick the first 13. So this is to direct the select board to include in the warrant, shall the town vote to have its select board appoint a chief of the police and fire departments who may be designated as the Commissioner of Public Safety in accordance with Section 101 of Chapter 41 of the Massachusetts General Laws.
Yeah, I move to recommend the select board vote for affirmative action on article number 13, adoption of MGL chapter 4121.
Okay, is there a second?
Nah.
Okay, I'll second.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? I was gonna second it anyway, but you would have been fine.
April Fool.
All right, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Okay, Article 14, let's roll up. Roll up to 14. Only 14 we've got, perfect.
So, yep, so this goes along with the Forest Legacy program that came in, and this was, they had 3 requests. 2 were handled through the budget process, both at CPA and then the matching funds that we had in the capital, but this is, requires a separate vote.
I move for the select board to recommend
Positive action.
affirmative action on article number 14.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 You can say no if you want. But, all right, Article 15. Please scroll. Oh, we got it already.
Yeah, so 15.
She's ready to make a motion.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, keep going.
In 2012, the select board at that time brought forth an article to have a veterans tax exclusion abatement, which was unanimously, according to the minutes, approved at town meeting. However, step 2 of that would have been to turn that over to the legislature and the Department of Revenue. That didn't happen. The number of years are too large in between 2012 and today, and so we need to ratify the vote again, and then the clerk's office and my office will submit the
That sounds
paperwork accordingly.
fantastic.
So I will move to recommend affirmative action on Article 16, the veterans tax exclusion.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Aye. 300. All right, Article 16, please scroll to that, which is the hawkers and peddlers.
So this is very long because the, so I don't think it can all fit on the screen because it's in and of itself.
The gist of this, though, is
7 pages.
Is it policy?
The gist is that the door-to-door sales in the town of Lancaster were only regulated if you were selling fruit or fish in a basket door-to-door. Which doesn't happen as far as I know anymore, plus I don't think anybody is interested in buying fish
They did.
door-to-door.
Actually,
Door-to-door.
They did.
a nice CSF?
A nice hot piece of fish.
Your CSF? I might do that.
In a basket?
Hey,
Either
I'll
way.
get it to my door. All right. So anyway, we discussed this
Either
at a
way.
previous
We're
meeting.
modernizing.
We're modernizing
So-
that regulation.
And the other thing, in all seriousness, is what it did say is that persons who wanted to do that needed to come in front of the select board and get a permit, and that doesn't seem practical or even reasonable because you all don't, you're not here every day, and that the town clerk's office would be the ones to hold the list. And really, in practice, what has been happening is that persons who want to do that go door to door to the police department, and so we'd like to codify that so that the code is in concert with our
As we
practice.
discussed at our previous
I
meeting.
move to recommend the select board vote affirmative action on article 16.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion?
Make sure Elix doesn't have to read it at the town meeting.
Oh, gosh.
So you don't
You can
have
just
to,
do
you
as
can just say
printed
as
in the
printed in the warrant
Yeah.
because we are printing the entirety.
That's printed.
Or she can read it.
Nope, that's printed. Well, if we need to drag it out, then yeah. Okay, Article 17.
I don't think you voted.
Oh, sorry. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, 300. Article 17, we're so close to the end, everybody.
Sorry, hold on.
That
Acceptance
was,
of the,
the credible service for call firefighters.
yes.
So just when you're doing it, I can offer a motion
Yes.
to positively support Article 17, acceptance of the credible service.
Second.
Okay. Any discussion? Okay, do you
Just-
want
do
to
you
just
wanna-
tell us
Oh,
what it
I'm
is?
sorry, yeah, I thought you guys were moving
We
on.
know
So,
about it, but
Oh, one.
Maybe we
Yep,
tell
so
everybody else.
effectively, this allows persons who are retiring from fire services, who have served the community even in a part-time or per diem capacity, to be able to calculate their years of service to the town of Lancaster towards their retirement benefits.
And this is going forward.
Correct.
Okay, fantastic. Any other questions, any other debate? Okay, hearing none. All those in favor?
All right.
Aye.
Aye. 300. Article 17, or 18 rather. Please scroll for Article 18. Oh, you're right there. Animal control.
So Article 18 is amendments to the town code for animal control.
Hotly contested article.
Don't laugh, I actually have concerns, of course.
No kidding.
So I think I asked Chief Moody to be here to discuss if anyone has any questions regarding this.
I do not. I suspect I'm not the case across the board.
I do, but
Do you have any questions?
I do,
Okay.
but it's not really for, I understand the intent behind this to try to streamline the chain of command, which makes perfect sense to me. Having sat on the boards with some extremely contentious animal control, because this removes the Animal Control Commission, the way I read this, correct me if I'm wrong, and returns it to the select board, which it was at one time, in the rare occurrence that we have to have an animal control hearing.
Well, it technically doesn't remove the commission, it just makes us the commissioners.
Correct.
And the fact of the matter
if there was
is
a hearing, it would come to the select board.
because the Animal Control Commission has not met for nearly, a little bit under a decade. They also are supposed to have 7 members, 7 to 9. They only have 3 right now, so they don't even have a quorum if they were to meet, and they haven't had any action to take place.
Well, I think that's not your fault or that. It was pre-Steve, pre-K, but that's something that,
It's your
sorry,
fault.
Jason.
It's your fault.
Sorry, Jason, you and me. But
I
we
mean,
haven't.
it's a decade.
No, they have met, and I know it was before your time. They have met, they used to meet over.
Okay.
They do meet.
I think,
Well, anyway.
I think the last minutes were like somewhere in like a
Regardless,
4 years.
we're not debating the merits.
Minutes could be there.
We're
What
debating whether or
I'm
not we
saying-
are doing positive or negative
Right,
or no
so
action on
the
this.
purpose by having an animal control commission initially, which I was there and felt was important and still
Yeah,
do,
yeah.
is because you have people who are industry professionals, or we like to call them subject matter experts, doing it. Also, like say, earth removal and so on, they can get long, contentious, and bog down the work of the select
But it
board.
doesn't appear that they have in the last several years.
No, there hasn't been.
Yeah.
There hasn't been a spate. We had a spate of some very difficult ones that were extremely contentious. In fact, we had to go on a time delay with SLC TV because it was that.
All right, so, but this is just about this warrant article.
And this warrant article just puts it back here. So I would suggest, which I'm sure it is, that we strike the select board and leave the Animal Control Commission, but with reporting back to and under the tutelage of the police department and the chief.
So are you making this? No, it says it makes the select board the animal
It
control.
says
The
the
Board of
members of the
Selectmen
select board
says
shall
not
act
officer
as the
appointed
animal
by the
control
Commissioner of Public
commissioners.
Safety.
No, it says the members of the select board shall act as animal control commissioners as needed or requested by the Commissioner of Public Safety or Town Administrator.
Right.
So I saw in definitions, animal control officer, an officer appointed by the Commissioner of Public Safety.
Yeah. It basically, doesn't eliminate the Animal Control Commission, it just makes us the commissioners.
Okay.
We replace the Animal Control Commission as ourselves, and I
Well,
would say,
so it's very clear, the members of the select board act as the Animal Control Commissioners.
correct.
We don't replace the commission with us, we become the commissioners.
Because for all intents and purposes, there will likely always be a select board. Whereas there
Yeah.
is not always,
An
nor
animal
is there
control.
currently
An animal control.
an animal
They
control.
don't have enough members right now,
Right,
obviously.
so
But I
there
think
isn't
that
an
that's
animal-
like a plague in a lot of our community.
The select board is currently the default in the situation where the board is not meeting.
No, I understand.
So you're already doing the role.
Yeah, I understand why we did it, and I've done it, and it was fine. It just was not a good use of our time, nor was it good for the people who were involved in the contentious disputes
doing
that
it
were
now.
involved around
But we're the ones doing it now, should a dispute rise.
We
Because
had-
there aren't any.
When's the last time we had an animal
Well,
control
I
hearing?
guess that's the point.
point.
The point is, it
Exactly.
hasn't arisen, but if it did today, we'd be the ones
We
who
would
do
be,
it.
and that's
Yes,
my
so
point
what this is saying is we're codifying it.
My point is
You would
that-
like us to go out and get six new commissioners, so that we
We
have.
had a person who was in the farming, we had a veterinarian.
I understand that, I understand that, but I guess, what are you saying?
We had a
Rather
police
than,
officer.
I understand that, rather than this, which is basically having us codifying what we're doing already, you would like us to get a more robust animal control commission.
No. What is here and is struck codifies the way it was. We're changing that.
Right, that's what I'm saying, this codifies
To
what is
replace.
the current,
Correct.
the current
Yes,
practical
yes,
circumstance.
Yes, I would like to leave the Animal Control Commission in place, but I respect and agree with the change in the command and reporting structure going to the, while we had a police officer on it, I think it should report through the police department.
Okay,
So,
all right, so, is there a motion on this article?
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to recommend the select board vote for affirmative action on article number 18 as written.
Okay. Is there a second?
second.
Okay. Yes.
I would just like to say I love our current animal control officer. Just want to get that out there.
That's fantastic. That's wonderful.
She is fabulous.
That's great. Very warm and fuzzy.
Love
Okay.
fest. Love fest.
Great. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Nay.
Okay. So that is 2-1-0 on Article 18, but again, let the record reflect that at the annual town meeting, it will indicate the select board is recommending positive action on that article. Articles 19 and 20 are citizens petitions.
Do we want to?
Did we make recommendations last year? I think we did, did we not?
We can actually we can bring it on too, can't we? As a select board article?
So, okay, two different questions. So, you guys get to vote every year, whether you want, and every town meeting rather. You didn't make one unilateral, we always will, we always won't. So I think there was a mixed bag because we had so many town meetings, I forget which was which, but I do believe that you did make recommendations for some and others you
Oh, we did on the
stayed
EZ,
silent.
yeah, we did on that one now.
Yeah.
Okay.
To answer your question, so, I understand that and let me scroll.
What was the question,
Scroll
Jason?
up.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear it.
That you could take it on as a select board article. And so the fact of the matter is, I understand that a citizen's petition was brought forward for some of the roads that are in Eagle Ridge, and that a lot of people are saying, well, if you brought it to town meeting, then that's how the road got accepted, but in fact, that isn't actually how it works. So this article, should it pass, could be the impetus that has the select board.
This is Article 19, by the way, talking about Hawthorne Lane citizens petition, sorry.
Yeah, so it could be the impetus for the select board to refer the matter, similar to the EZ zone, back to the planning board. The planning board then has 45 days to hold a hearing. The planning board would issue a determination back to the select board, and then the matter goes to town meeting. Or this could be the impetus for the select board having an order of taking. When talking about Eagle Ridge, what happened there is that the citizens petition went through and then the select board had an order of taking for 3 of the roadways that are up there. We found those actually at the registry. So I know that they happened and they took place. I don't know as if that was as publicly declared, so I think what happened was people thought you go to town meeting and they adopt the road. And that isn't the plan. So regardless, anybody can put anything as long as it's legal on there, but this is sort of a non-binding, but the select board could say that this is the notice that citizens want to have this road adopted, and then the board then decides which way. So 1 is to bring it to the planning board, 2 is to do an order of taking, and then 3 is do nothing.
And we do that post-town meeting.
Correct.
Copy that. Yes.
All right, so I'm not exactly sure procedurally. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being educated on all this. I am for the current plan of Hawthorne Lane. I am for closure to this way too long of an experience. While there are people still maybe not completely satisfied with the situation, but it needs closure. So I'm all for this, for the road being adopted, for the select board finishing what it started with the town. I don't know the best way to do that, so that would be my vote procedurally.
So my understanding is, sorry, go ahead.
No, it's okay.
My understanding is if the best way to resolve that is positive action on Article 19, us referring it to the planning board and moving that process.
Or a taking.
Or a taking.
We
Yes.
recommend.
Both those would be post-town meeting.
So,
Well, I think probably a taking would be a lot easier. If you're all three of you are for it.
Would you be opposed to that at all? Do you think that's a mistake procedurally?
No, as a matter of fact, I think it follows the same pattern as the neighbors next door, which is what happened at Eagle Ridge.
so in my long tenure here, we've had a lot of developments that have come forward that developers have promised, they've had concessions given to them to have private roads. For example, Eagle Ridge, Turner Lane, or not Turner Lane, Bryan Road, on and on and on. And they have, and they have ultimately, usually by citizens petition, come to this route. As I recall in the past, and you've got the meeting minutes, and you could correct me, but if I'm wrong, they had any planning, zoning article, or citizens petition that related to it had hearings, just like you're talking about, planning hearings, but usually prior to town meeting?
Well, this is a citizens petition, so they can, it will.
I know, I understand that, so we can do
Well, let me
it.
just clarify for the general public. Anyone can bring a citizens petition if they have the right number of signatures, and it goes on the town meeting warrant, whether we want it to or not.
Exactly. And it's-
But within a certain time frame, so it may not be able to have hearings before the planning board. I don't sit on that board, so I don't want to presuppose.
So, yeah, they could. So what I said, the same
Well,
thing.
I don't sit on that,
Okay.
neither do you, so I don't want to presuppose
No,
the
but
actions they take. Go ahead.
Said the same. So they had the public hearing prior to do that. The other thing is, what was helpful and necessary is we went to the other boards and commissions. For example, particularly the DPW, because they would be responsible, so we could understand the impact to them.
Right.
So they could report out at town meeting too, because it is a citizen's petition and it will be heard, and that way the people who are there.
But I think what you just heard from Kate is that this isn't the end of the process, this is actually the beginning of the process. That this happens, and stand by, this happens, and either the select board does the taking, or we put it through the planning board process, at which point, we will hear from
But
everybody.
before people vote on this, members of the town meeting, our legislature, would be educated by the DPW and whoever other boards and commissions would ask. The other thing is, this talks about the road, which of course is the major concern here. Water and drainage, does that include?
And again, I just want to be clear to the townspeople who are watching, we don't write these citizens petitions, we have to put them in the wording that they put in their citizens
Thank you,
petition.
yeah.
So
Can I finish?
you can.
Thank you.
I'm not sure we can answer
So
any
it
questions.
includes the water and drainage infrastructure and open space access, so having the DPW and the conservation and so on would be helpful to have their assent or opinions on those.
Okay. All right, thank you.
What make them
Any
aware.
further conversation, discussion? Okay, is there a motion yet? I can't remember.
So
no motion.
it sounds like Kate, it's still not clear to me if the select board should endorse this, should take it on as a select board article.
So unless the citizens pull their petition on town meeting floor, it will move forward, unless they say there's no action. So you all can either decide that you're gonna render a recommendation or not, and either is fine. And then you can take it up at any time. It may be best to wait until after town meeting and see what town meeting said.
Yeah, for us to
So
take
I
it up
would
for policy.
recommend the select board vote for affirmative action on article number 19, hopefully.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, any discussion?
Yes. That I think that I'm inclined to personally support this article. I think the planning board and other boards made a lot of mistakes on this.
The previous planning board.
Not this planning board, yes. Two planning boards ago, actually.
Well, no, this one. Or the previous one.
Two ago, not this one, and not the one prior.
But no, the one immediately prior, yeah.
Well,
Yeah, because all the other members who
okay.
are on this one were
You know something,
reelected.
that can be debated on town meeting floor too. But
Just
with
want
that,
that
with the, as in times past, and for people to make an educated vote, I think it would be behoove us to have the DPW, conservation, and other plannings
Understood.
prepared to report out.
I want to be very clear, all of which can take place after
They
the
can.
town meeting members vote. So
How can you can vote out of
this is a
ignorance,
citizens
people often do.
petition. We don't
I understand that, but it would be helpful for the people to understand the
We're
support.
we're voting whether or not we say it's a good idea or not. We don't have to take any action.
Exactly.
The planning board, others, it's the strange, wonderful world of little d democracy.
All I'm asking-
Let me finish. That citizens can put petitions before us. All we are doing simply is saying to our neighbors and fellow residents, we think this is a good idea for you to vote for. Then there's a whole process that does include others afterward in one of the potential paths. Yes.
Alex, I'm not sure what you're asking for.
I'm asking that we give as much possible information from the town's perspective. We're endorsing something, okay, which means that we're suggesting that the legislature, the town meeting body, votes in the affirmative yes to approve this. We all seem to agree that that's probably a good idea to do that. I think the electorate deserves to understand, for example, from the DPW, was this built to town standards? Should we do this? What's it going to cost? People, the question with the Eagle Ridge, how much is it going to cost you to plow it? Same thing with the basins. There's been a lot of open space questions that the conservation can answer. So when people vote at town meeting, hopefully we can honor their vote. So if they say, yeah, let me finish, please.
I am. That's why I just got my hand up.
So if people
But
say
we gotta move
yes,
on at some point.
if people say yes, I want to do this because there's all these good arguments for it, the selectmen go through seamlessly, we do this, it's really just enacting the vote of the town thing. I think it would be unfair to have people vote out of ignorance and then say, gotcha, an easement, or an easement is tough to do, or there's this land that has some sort of title defect, so road taking would be difficult. So having our homework done ahead of time
Understood.
would be helpful.
I will say DPW has worked with the developer, so we have a pretty good understanding of what it takes to bring the road up to standards. And obviously, if the land does get taken, DPW will be involved because of our water supply, as they already are involved, and for the requirements under the road, and conservation commission's already been very heavily involved in this project from the beginning.
So sharing that information is our job
Well, we've had
as
ad
leaders.
nauseum conversations in this very meeting, at this very body, about this very topic, and I don't doubt that this won't be the last time we do it. So, all right, there was a motion and a second for favorable action on Article 19. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Jason?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? All those abstaining, I guess?
No, I am in
Which one?
favor, but I believe that we need to do it the right way.
I need a boom, boom.
I
or-
gave you an aye. I
I
said
didn't
in
hear.
favor.
Okay.
Aye.
Aye. 3-0-0. Thank you. Article 20. A citizens petition act increasing the membership of the select board of the town of Lancaster.
Yeah, I will not be, I guess, oh yeah, so I'd like to make a motion for the select board to vote in a negative action on article number 20.
Second. Any discussion? Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of the same message as last time. I think the right approach for this select board is a charter commission. I'm actually grateful for the government study committee who helped help me inform that opinion. It may not exactly align with their approach. However, I do believe that's in the best interest of the town. I believe Article 20, which was voted on last year, pretty drastically voted against. As an individual member of the select board, I'm against endorsing Article 20.
Okay. Any further discussion?
I strongly support this article. I'm expecting that I will lose. I think that given the fact that the Government Study Committee worked long and hard and gave one of the best reports that I have seen come out of any committee to us, with a data-driven report with all the reasons why, and the strongest recommendation by the townspeople surveyed was to have a 5-member Board of Selectmen, which many of our other towns have done successfully. So, and to mostly, if we ask a volunteer committee to do something and they give us a good, well thought out, data-driven reason to do it, I tend to support volunteer committees. So.
And that is entirely your. And I support the
is.
committee and the great work that they did.
Well,
I just disagree with the.
A charter was not a high priority from the people surveyed. So.
Great.
That's actually what the warrant article stated. It said explore whether or not a charter is necessary for the town of Lancaster, and the report said that we are not going to opine on that. So that was
not
to
the
say-
way I read
I will remind folks, as Jason did, this came before the town meeting last year. It was resoundingly defeated. And
Narrowly, wasn't it?
I will be voting for, I think it was pretty,
I thought it was 7 votes or something small.
no.
We can look.
Oh, no, it was like, I think they only got like 7 votes.
I don't think so, but look it up, but that's fine. As I say in the game of politics, you don't get extra points for extra points. If you're
That's a good
defeated,
one.
you're defeated. At any rate, I will be voting for this negative recommendation and against this warrant article at town meeting. So all those in favor of the motion to recommend negative action at the town meeting on Article 20, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed?
Nay.
Okay. All right. Any other articles, or do we address all 20 and we can move on to the next item on our agenda?
You have addressed all.
All
Is
20.
that me? Is that my turn?
Fantastic.
Yes.
Okay, so I think I'm up.
You are.
All right, I move to
Fantastic.
accept the warrant for the 2024 annual town meeting as written, as amended, and to instruct the town constable to post said warrant in the manner consistent
been
with
very
the town
excited
code,
since.
bylaws, and Massachusetts general law.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Okay. Post away, constable. Okay, that was exciting for you. Yeah. Okay, next is to set a date for a public forum warrant review.
That's not it.
We had initially said, tentatively April 24th. I've been informed by the item that April 24th is the day of the candidates forum. So we need to pick a different date for a public forum warrant review, also for our second meeting in April, because we were going to try to do them all, I think, relatively on the same day. So this is the time where we take out our calendars. Not you guys, we'll just do it here.
So the
22nd we can't do,
23rd through 26th is bad for me.
okay?
Other than that,
And the
I
week
think
before,
I'm-
that's bad for me. I could do the 29th, although is that a planning board meeting? No, they should be the 8th and the 22nd.
I think the 29th is good.
29th
Well, I
good
know
for you?
I'm here.
Oh, aren't you nice? 29th good for you?
I can do the 29th.
Fantastic, so
Triple check here one
let's
second.
just make sure, that
We have
the
too many calendars.
planning board isn't meeting on that date. I don't believe they are. Fantastic, so do we want to have the public forum here, or do we want to do it in is the old town hall functionable for it? Although I know we have to check with for those in whatever booth Sterling-Lancaster TV watches this in, we know it also requires their participation, so
We've
Kate
done
will
it
reach out to them
It's
before.
okay.
We've always done it in
Yeah.
the old
The
town hall.
main
Okay.
room is okay.
Great, awesome.
We've
So
done
we'll
it
do
at the, just a suggestion, is that
Uh-huh,
okay?
it is, but we've had a meeting room that's worked. and-
We have, but the acoustics are very difficult for people in the audience. We've done them in the past at the school, which I don't know if that's at the auditorium there, if that's something that we can.
we've never done these public forums until I joined
This is-
the
I guess
board,
this is
and
what-
so we've,
Oh, no, we did plenty of them before that, trust me. But, let's
all
not,
right,
the school is just a
Great.
comfy option.
awesome.
So,
The old town hall,
Second.
On the 29th.
on the 29th. That way, if planning board is meeting here, we can,
Starting at 6?
sure. Well, we should do any select board business first,
Okay.
so I don't know how much is on the agenda. Alex has a
We'll
few
make it
items.
light. Oh, right.
I have,
So, yeah, let's make it light and try to get the forum started at 6:30. So meet at 6, get the forum started at 6:30. And then if we have additional items that we haven't addressed, we can take them up after the forum is over with. Fantastic. Next item, we can skip. I'm kidding.
oh, sure, it's not funny when I do it, huh?
Hey, it's all in the delivery. Next item on the agenda.
Yeah.
I move to ratify the employment contract for Lancaster Chief of Police and Fire Everett L. Moody as signed by Town Administrator Kate Hodges on March 27, 2024 pursuant to the Select Board's affirmative vote on same from March 18th, 2024.
Is there a second?
Second.
All right. Any discussion?
What's his
What do
middle
you-
name? What is his middle name? L.
Lyle. Lowell.
Alex, do you
Lawrence.
know? Do you know?
Tell him,
You do know?
tell him.
Leverett? Is it Everett?
Is it
Leverett?
Love? Everett Love Moody?
Is it Everett Leverett?
Lewis. Okay.
Is it spelled
Thank you, Mr. thank you for,
L-E-W-I-S?
It is not
Indulging me, Mr.
Lowell,
Chair.
yes.
Okay, all right, well, we'll allow it. Okay, great. All those in favor, signify by
we'll-
saying aye.
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 Can I just say one thing under discussion?
Just, we're past discussion, we're already in the middle of a vote, 2 out of 3 vote. You can say, I'll let you say it after you say aye or no.
You can let me? Okay, aye.
Okay.
So
Excuse me. Congratulations, contract's
Oh,
been
my
approved.
God.
Now, would you have something very brief, but it has to be on topic of the next item on the agenda, which is the alcohol license fee. No, I'm kidding, go ahead.
I'll make a motion to expel Steve. No.
Yeah, it fails for lack of a second.
Yeah. No, thank you, it is my honor. I remember back in the day pinning you,
boy.
and it was honor, no, it was an honor, and you've done the town proud, and I know you were going to continue to do so. So it is truly very excited about your new contract.
Fantastic. Awesome. I don't see, we can take down that document,
License fee discussion.
the thing.
The cash in there?
You can take down the share. The next item was on the agenda because I don't see him on here.
Who?
George Franz had wanted to bring it up in a public comment. We didn't have public comment in that meeting, and he has not come back for it for the succeeding meeting. So why don't we leave it off? If George wants to speak to it, he'll come to a public comment section in our near future. Now we have to approve the 2024 local election ballot review.
I move.
Wait a minute. I
Wait
actually
a
have to
minute.
review it.
She has to review it for us.
You don't know what you're voting
So
on yet.
excited.
I
Oh, I
know.
have a sense.
While she's getting that out, I just want the board to know that I've received 224 thank yous for the land in North
Excellent.
Lancaster. Oh, 225.
Yeah. Are they all coming from Leslie?
Same person? These children.
Bing, bing.
He has his AI guy just emailing him.
Okay, so many thanks to Mandy Cannon, who is our town clerk. She has provided all kinds of lists on social media and on the town, but I wanted to just go over who is on the election. So the select board for a 3-year term is Alex Turner, candidate for re-election, Ralph Gifford III, Jean.
Which one are you?
What's your middle name? No, I'm kidding. No.
Ralph A. Gifford III, Jean G. Rich, and Jean Syria. For the Finance Committee, there are 2 spots for a 3-year term. A candidate for re-election, Emily Notaro, who formerly known as Emily Kerrigan. Michelle Vasquez, candidate for re-election, and Roy Rizek. Planning Board member for a 5-year term is Mike Favreau, candidate for re-election. Board of Health for a 1-year unexpired term is Sheila Millette. Board of Health for a 3-year term is Jeff Pastor, candidate for re-election. Board of Public Works, there's 1 for a 3-year term. The 2 candidates are Richard M. Craffey III, lots of thirds, and Jean Syria for that as well. Library Trustees, a 3-year term.
Who's not running for re-election on DPW?
Mr. King. 3-year term, for Library Trustees, you can choose 2, and there are 2. Michelle Frayne and Amy Sund. And the Neshoba School District Committee, 3, but only 2 thus far.
So there are 3 seats, but only 2 candidates. I like
Correct.
your odds.
Shander Simon, who is the incumbent, and Michael Joseph King.
Got it. Okay.
Who are the 3 that are seats?
Mandy? Oh, here she is, hold on.
Are there any other options? That's it?
Oh, hold on 1 second.
So there is room for a write-in seat for school committee.
Yeah, Mandy,
Room
do you
for
know?
write-in for any
anywhere.
office, yeah.
Mandy, is that you? A. Cannon, I'm assuming it is. Ms. Clerk?
Or it's someone named Akan Non.
Or she's stepped away, maybe. I don't know.
All right.
All right.
I'm sure that it's
I
online.
can get it.
Yeah,
Okay.
Okay.
Additionally, there was a citizen's petition for a ballot question, and pursuant to the acts, the Lancaster Acts of 2004, we have to go through the fair and concise summary, etc. The question reads, shall the town of Lancaster vote to revoke the provisions of section 48, chapter 31 of the general laws voted at the town election March 11th, 1968, thus reaffirming the Board of Selectmen recommended and voter-supported 2020 annual town meeting vote of Article 7, requesting legislative language to support our removal, which is the civil service.
Oh.
So town council had been asked to write the fair and concise summary, again, consistent with MGL. So the fair and concise summary is Lancaster's sworn police officers are subject to the civil service law based on Lancaster's 1968 exception of Section 48 of Chapter 31 of the general laws. Other than the chief of police position, which was removed from civil service through special legislation, the remaining sworn police officer positions in the Lancaster Police Department are currently subject to the state civil service laws. Here, question 1 seeks to rescind Lancaster's prior acceptance of Section 48 of Chapter 31 of the general laws, so the civil service laws will no longer apply to Lancaster's sworn police officers. A yes vote on question 1 would rescind Lancaster's prior acceptance of Section 48 of the Chapter 31 of the general laws, making the civil service laws in Chapter 31 of the general laws inapplicable to any sworn police officer in Lancaster who is newly appointed or promoted to a higher rank after the effective date of recession, which would be the first day of the next month following the vote to rescind. A no vote on question 1 would not rescind Lancaster's prior acceptance of Section 48 of Chapter 31 of the general laws, and the civil service laws in Chapter 31 of the general laws would continue to apply to sworn officers. So the ballot question was revised from...
That was the concise summary. Just to be clear.
Yes. I didn't write it.
I know.
The ballot question was revised from how it originally appeared on the petition, which is the initial one that I read to you, because the elections division wanted it to be consistent with the language of Mass General Law, hopefully to make it clearer. Whether or not it does, I'm not sure. Let me see, so this is from Clerk Cannon, who said that she would be sending out the mail ballots as of about the 22nd of this month. There was 800 applications for mail-in voting. They would be due back by May 13th, in hand before the closing of the polls at 8 p.m. on May 13th, which is the day. Early voting here is May 7th to the 9th from 9 to 3, and the 10th from 9 to 12, and that will be held at the office of the town clerk. And so now the board has some decisions to make relative to the pro and con statements, which you may recall from the override vote. Take it away, Jason.
I move that notwithstanding Section 22A and Section 21C of Chapter 59 of the Mass General Laws, the board called to be posted the citizens petition ballot question seeking to remove the town from civil service, an act previously authorized by the affirmative passage of Article 7 of the 2020 annual town meeting, and a petition which town clerk Amanda Cannon certified on Monday, March 25th, 2024, consistent with Lancaster's Special Act of 2004, Chapter 149, Section 285.
All right, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, is there discussion?
There is.
This is
Deep sigh.
just about posting the citizens petition
Yes.
for the question 1.
My question is sort of the mechanics, and I'm not sure when the best time to ask it is, but this is as good as any. Is the town meeting did, as the petition says, vote to remove the department from civil service, but they did it at a town meeting and not at the ballot. According to council, is this another legitimate way to do so?
You have to, unless it's an act of the legislature, which is what town meeting, I believe, attempted,
Yes.
you have to exit civil service in the same manner that you entered. And so,
Which is by a vote of the town.
I see. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
There's been a motion and a second. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 And we're just ratifying that for the ballot, correct?
Yep.
Yes. So, yeah, aye.
Aye. So 3-0-0.
I move consistent with the Lancaster Special Act of 2004, Chapter 149, Section 285, I move to invite the principal proponents and opponents for the question listed in the 2024 annual town election ballot to submit to the board one argument for or against said question of no more than 250 words to be received no later than April 16th, 2024 at 4 p.m. to the town administrator, either in person or via email. For the purposes of this act, the principal proponent shall be the first 10 people who signed the petition to initiate the placement of said question on the ballot.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
And discussion?
So what I'm gathering from this is the establishment of time frame to receive the proponent-opponent for what we just ratified.
Right, and so the clerk can pull the petition and get the first 10 signatures and send them a...
That seems easy to figure out who's going to write the pro, the con.
Well, that's because the act says who writes the pro.
I know. The con is going to be we're supposed to have by our act.
But there'll still be debate on the floor, so there'll still be debate on
Well,
the
this
floor.
is at the town meeting,
No,
there's town election.
this is
This is the
an
ballot
election.
question of the
Yeah.
town election. Oh,
This is election, and you have to, we're supposed to have a pro and a con. So if there's no con, then in the past,
We
council
can
or something.
task Kate or council with writing.
yeah, we should have
Yeah.
both sides regardless.
You have to.
Legally.
So if
So-
somebody doesn't step forward, you could have a call for it, and if we don't hear by whatever day, I can write it with the assistance of counsel.
The reason I mention that is because those are due on the 16th. So if there's no con that comes in by the 16th, does that leave us enough time to write the con?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I mean, we
Okay.
could write it in an hour.
Okay.
Okay, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Okay.
Quick
Yes.
question, do we need to authorize the town administrator to be the, okay.
To write the con.
Well,
I further move to open the principal opponent designation to any member of the select board or their nominee who wishes to come forward in opposition of the article proposed and prepare said statement as outlined above and consistent
Let's go through our
with the Lancaster
TikTok.
Special Act of 2004.
I
Second.
think you did.
Yeah,
you
we
did it, we did that.
Okay, aye, it's Kate.
We don't need that?
No, you did it. You're good, but that's
How's
twice.
that? Great.
Okay.
Next, what do we have to do relative to the, we did it, we already did it. Everything's great.
Can I go on to
Yay.
appointments?
No, not yet. Do we have to do anything about the ballot? Are we good? They're constable and.
No, but once it's now complete, you'll need to, I can either send it e-sign or you can come in and sign it.
Got it, okay.
But we can't do both. That got a little sticky, so could we make a decision whether you want to?
In person. Can we all, what time do you need it signed by?
Mandy, do you have a time that you need the warrant signed by?
I can sign in person.
I can.
Yeah, hold on 1 second.
This is the ballot, right?
No, the warrant, right?
But
The warrant and the
for-
election, yeah.
The ballot, there's the annual
to
town
sign.
meeting warrant we have to sign,
Yes.
put it, post.
Yes. But we're, at this
The-
point of the meeting, we're discussing the ballot. and
I
then we have to
understand that,
sign.
so the election-
Let me just finish. So we're talking about signing that as well.
Yes.
Great.
The election warrant, there is still time for withdrawals and other things like that, correct? By,
Mandy?
I think it's,
Directed to object to withdraw. Can you hear me?
Yep.
So keep
The last day to withdraw is April 10th, so I'll just have it ready to go after that.
Great. So you'll let us know and then we'll come sign it after April 10th and whoever's on there will be on there. Okay. But the last day to be on the ballot has passed, yes?
yes.
Correct.
Correct. Great. So, we will all come and sign it in person. Both.
And I will alert you as soon as the
Please do.
warrant is done, which should be end of the week.
Sounds good. Appointments.
All right, I move to appoint Jim Peters to become a member of the Commission on Disability, term to expire June 30th, 2024.
Clearly filling an unexpired term. Otherwise, he's got a 3-month gig.
I'll second that. I
great.
think it's his,
Oh, hold on. There's a motion and a second. Is there any discussion?
sorry, I think it's his first time through. He's not here, but,
Nope.
No, he's been on the Commission on Disability for a while.
oh, okay.
I mean, not on the committee, but he's been partnered with the committee for a long time.
Great.
Well,
All those
thank
in-
him for his-
All those in favor, say aye.
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 Okay, and we acknowledge the resignation of Sean Windsor, effective immediately for the Conservation Commission. Thank you, Sean.
Haven't we acknowledged that several times?
No, we acknowledge the resignation of something else, I believe. But we keep acknowledging it because we honor his service.
That's right.
We acknowledge it, now and forever. All right, the executive session is no longer necessary. Communications, the next select board meeting according to this evening's discussion will hopefully be Monday, April 29th, 6 o'clock in the Old Town Hall, to be followed at 6:30 by a forum on the town meeting warrant. Town offices will be closed on Monday, April 15th in observation of Patriots' Day. The annual town meeting, in case you all missed it tonight, will be Monday, May 6th, 2024 at the Luther Burbank Mary Rowlandson Schools, and the annual town election, in case you missed that, will be Monday, May 13th, 2024 from 7 a.m. until 8 p.m. And Kate has something she'd like to say. Huh?
Candidates night.
Oh, that's not something we planned, but I'm
Well-
glad to announce it. That I don't think you should know if there's a candidate. Also, there's a blood drive on May 21st. So huzzah. There's apparently also scheduled a candidates night that is not sponsored by the town or the select board that is taking place on April 24th, 2024. I have no further details on that. Yes.
I didn't see new business, but I have something just to bring up. I don't know when the appropriate time is.
Now.
Cool.
Typically, though, if you have new business,
We had an
let us
action,
know.
last meeting to follow up on Keating.
Yes.
Do we have any new information to present? I committed to a resident to getting information at our next meeting. I didn't know if there was information, I just didn't know if you were able to give that update.
No, other than the contract that the board did with CEI was just for a peer review. They don't often take on a ton of month-to-month reviews, but we are due to bid out those services at the end of the year. And Tie and Bond would come into a future meeting, should you wish. I don't know if you want that at the next meeting, or you just want to have a phone call, or...
So the services for Tie and Bond come up this year?
Yeah, they'll come up, so we'll
if
bid
this
them
board
at the
chose,
town
we
meeting.
could bid it out, okay. And then I think the other item on it was something about, there was a well that we are waiting on. Do we know if any of that information has come in?
I don't know anything about that.
Okay.
Jason, you might be happy or not to know, I had asked for that to be on the agenda, the 24th, well, this agenda, so it will be on the, I guess, the 29th at this point.
Okay. I just had a conversation with a resident on the way out, so I just want to make sure that, of the way out of last meeting. Okay, so, and that's the next meeting's on the 24th?
29th, as discussed.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so that is going to be on the next meeting, 20th. Okay, thank you, Mr. Chair.
You're welcome.
Kate, do you anticipate that we'll need a special selectmen's meeting before the town meeting, as typical?
I mean, usually
Yeah,
you
we usually have
have.
one just
Yeah.
before. Yeah,
You can always not use it.
but that's, we will
And
announce that at our next meeting.
And there was no new business, but I came
There
up...
wasn't. There wasn't, but we're having at it, so.
I came up with a way to solve some of our problems. I thought that Lancaster should annex back.
This is an
Clinton?
April Fool's joke. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Okay, all in favor? Aye, aye.